Hi all, this is Yulianna Avdeeva here. It's Thursday again, 7:30 in Central Europe, so we are starting again with our weekly stream. In tonight's session we will be moving to the new key of Well-Tempered Clavier from Book 1 by Joseph Sebastian Bach. We'll be coming to the very unusual key and rare tonality C-sharp major, and after that I would like to discuss with you one of my absolute favorite pieces by Ludwig van Beethoven, his 32 variations. Hello Maria, hi Alex. So, I hope that you had a good week and that you all keep safe and healthy. Hi Joanna, hi Lars. So the C-sharp major, what is this, how does this tonality look like? Well, first of all, it's very black. We have 7 sharps, and hi Rolf, hi Geoff, hi Michael. We have very sharp score, a very black score in a way. Well, several sources are saying that this Prelude and Fugue in C-sharp major from Book 1 was the first piece which have ever been notated in this tonality. Hello Roberto, hi Dario, hello Carla. And of course this is actually a very, to be honest, I was thinking if I know any other piece which is notated in C-sharp major, and I have to confess I didn't find any. Do you know any piece which would be completely composed in C-sharp major? I would be very interested. Of course, there are some episodes, there are some fragments in several pieces, but I don't know any other complete piece which would be notated in C-sharp major. Hello to Japan, hello to London and to California. So there was the C-sharp major, that's also the reason why it is so, actually to be honest, it is a very complicated tonality to read. And it is indeed very challenging. I was really a little bit fighting with myself because it's, the impulses which are, I thought my brain was sending to my fingers, somehow it was not matching. Hello to Hong Kong, and of course Naples, in Napoli in Italy. Hello Christian, hello Giovanni. And there was even a try of German musicologist Kroll to notate it in D flat major, but I am convinced that composers always have a certain reason why they put their pieces, why they notate their pieces in one particular tonality. Hello Brigitte. And I think that Bach was sure that this piece should be notated in C-sharp major. I think it is also a question of the color of the tonality, and in my opinion, D flat major sounds more round, more, more profound in a way. It has a different color. It is a little bit warmer for me than C-sharp major. C-sharp major is, for me, it's a kind of, in a way, it's on one hand, it's very pastoral, carefree in a way, careless, but on the same time, it's more, it has more transparency. It's more vital also in a way. It has more life. Hello to Spain and to Vienna. So this Prelude and Fugue has, for me, a very rare character. It's very bright. It is very easygoing. It has a very, somehow very joyful character. And I think this is also really the tonality which gives us this feeling already. Hello to Wroclaw. Hi Gianni. I have to say, for me, now coming to the C-sharp major prelude, I have made, for me personally, a certain discovery which I would like to share with you. Здравствуйте, Olga Alexeyevna. Which is, I was there, I think in one of the first sessions we were talking about the score which exists, score of the well-tempered clavier, with Chopin marks with his dynamics, with his it's a pupil score with his notations. And I was really observing carefully recently. Look, this is how it looks like. You can find it online. So you see there is a penciled notations which are apparently from Chopin. Well, I believe that they are from him. It looks very much like that. So when I was observing that, also in the dynamic line and also in the way the structure of even the first line of the prelude is, which is so there is a line which is going up and down again, and then we have the same in the left hand. And then we have the same figure in the left hand, and I was really seriously thinking that it reminds me on some other piece which I know, until I realized which Chopin piece that was, and that is the Etude Opus 10 number 4. Because if you have this, we have the same line going up, then again the left hand. So it's for me, I suddenly recognized, I felt a link between this prelude and the C sharp minor Etude Opus 10 number 4. Even if I will show you it, you will compare just the way it's written. You see, it's also in a very, it's actually something. Of course, also the figurations, those figurations. And here it's a little bit different, but still, there's a figurations around one particular tone. So I was really very excited about that discovery, and I'm somehow, my point is not, in a way, it's not to make a kind of musicological research or something. For me, it's just learning the well-tempered clavier. It's just gaining the experience, which I can apply in so many other pieces. So that was one of my first discoveries, which I was so excited about. But now coming back to the C sharp major prelude. Yes, it is. So basically, it's as I already mentioned, it is a very bright and very transparent pastoral character. The Bach also originally there is also a version which was also in the one of the first versions, which was a little bit different notated as the one we have now. So it was starting from the figures going from down up, but I think that there was a certain reason, and we see also how the Bach was always, he was such a perfectionist. He was always trying things out, and of course I think there is a certain reason why he changed this first figuration, and it's really very interesting to see that. Of course, the part with the oral poem, which is this part was added later, and this is actually a huge, well, basically it's a half of the prelude, and it is very, in a way, also very energetic and very, very wonderful the way Bach is changing the tonalities, changing the harmonies. So it's really wonderful to experience those modulations, of course. And in the end, we have these passages, very virtuosic passages, before coming to the end of the piece and the fugue. The fugue, well, I think that there are some elements which are already quite audible in the prelude, which Bach is taking over in the fugue, and this has those jumps. So basically, the subject of the fugue consists of two parts. One is, and then This is like two different elements of the fugue. The counter subject, so it's a very it's maybe a gavotte, so it's a very dancing gavotte-like character, and the counter subject is a contrary. It's a very so it's basically remaining in the same region. It doesn't have any jumps, so it's a great balance between those characteristical dancing jumps and those line, which is a kind of making a kind of balance to it. In this fugue, it's 3-part fugue, so 3 voices. It is, to be honest, it's very challenging. It is, yeah, it's quite difficult to play. There are many sections which have no subject, so many episodes, which are some of them are quite long. For instance, but they're always, of course, developing more or less the same element. So, for instance, this is one of those episodes. So, and then we have the same element with the. So basically, it's also the development or transformation of one particular motif. So I think I said enough about this really great, amazing Prelude and Fugue in C-sharp major, and now I will just perform it for you, and yes, please enjoy. Johnny, the New Country, C sharp major, Book 1, Johann Sebastian Bach. Thank you very much for your great comments. Oh yes, you have it quite early in Yokohama. I see 2:45 a.m. Wow. Hello to Leipzig. I see from Kevin that there is a piece by Granados Allegro. Oh, that's great to know that there is another. I'm sure that there are several pieces in C sharp major, and I'm very happy that you know some of them and that I can also have a look on those. Yes, Antonio, yes, sure, it is some other connections also between, and Bach, of course, we will discover as well, and if should I make some other connections, some links between Chopin and Bach, I will of course also share it with you. Hi Wesley, great to see you. Hello back to Taiwan. Thank you so much for listening. So now we are coming to another topic of today's conversation, which is yes, another great giant composer, Ludwig van Beethoven. And for today's for today's stream, I had a strong desire to share some thoughts on a wonderful piece, on a wonderful cycle by him, another cycle by him. It's 32 variations in C minor. Of course, to be honest, I don't know what can I say more about Beethoven, because of course he as I already said, that probably Bach and Beethoven, those are the composers who really had the greatest influence on all other later generations. And of course the personality of Beethoven himself is something what I really admire. I think that yes, I think it's his personal fate, also his life, which was of course also very strong affected by his health, or that he was not able to hear. Of course, for a musician, I think it's a very, I cannot even imagine how he felt like. And but it doesn't matter. That the point which matters to me is that he never gave up as a person. He never admitted, he never felt somehow destroyed by that. And this just also personal kind of characteristic of him. I think it's so audible, it's so I feel it in almost every piece by him, what I know. And I see it in a comment from Alexis saying that he never heard me playing Beethoven, and that's actually that's a good observation, because of course, being a teenager and also a student, I played, of course, regularly some Beethoven sonatas, of course, quite many even, but somehow, to be honest, I had always a huge respect for Beethoven's music, for his direct message in the music. So he never packs his message. He never makes it softer than it is. He was always very direct. He's the strength, with the strength in his message, this force. Somehow I had some. It was not easy for me how to express it on the piano. Because on one hand, of course, he's a classical composer, so it means that you have to find also appropriate sound. It never should sound too loud, too massive, because it's still another completely other style. And on the other hand, how to find this balance, how to find this sound balance, how to find this feeling, the right measure of expression in his music, because even if you have a look on his score, the contrasts are amazingly huge in his music. So you have sforzando in a pianissimo sometimes, and then so there's these outbreaks, and somehow it was very. I was never sure until a certain point. Somehow I didn't. It took me a very long time to find, in my opinion, the right, for myself, the right expression. And of course, yeah, that's somehow, it's like with people, once you feel a huge respect to someone, you're maybe a little bit hesitating to come a little bit closer in the beginning. But since 2 or 3 years, I was working a lot on Beethoven, and this just a couple of months ago I learned one of his, in my opinion, another brilliant, amazing, good variation cycle, which is Eroica Variations. And also this piece helped me a lot again to find my understanding of his music, of his expression. And the Eroica, the Eroica Variation it's indeed it's a brilliant example of variation style of middle time of Beethoven's work. And it is somehow basically variation is a very let's say Beethoven liked this kind of form a lot. And variations itself is a kind of very old form. And there are now we have more or less two different types of variations. One is the variation when you have a theme which is modified. So the basic idea is the transmission or the alteration of a certain theme. Another form is coming from Baroque time, which is not even Baroque time, but even earlier. This is the so-called Chopin or Passacaglia type of variation, where you have basically it's most of the time it's the bass line, which is repeated many times. So it's actually like sequences. So it's the idea is this harmonical progression in the bass line, and the right hand or the other voices or the other lines are freely changed and varied. So in the 32 variations, Beethoven somehow, which is actually not quite typical for him, goes back to this Chacon form. The Eroica variation is more although it's an interesting question, because it is possible, but Eroica is genuinely, it's an amazing piece. It's so progressive, it's so unusual also in the form, because in Eroica, but I think maybe we can talk about Eroica variations once separately, because it's in my opinion it's absolutely amazing, wonderful piece, which places for me it stands above so many other, even although I don't know any pieces by Beethoven which I don't like, but Appassionata, by the way, I do like very much. It's an amazing sonata. So the variation form Beethoven was using very often. So very often he was in the slow movements of his symphonies, like Symphony number 5 or Symphony number 7 or even 9. Of course, the late piano sonatas, but also the A-flat major sonata number 12 starts with the variation movement already. So he had, well, my speculation is because Haydn, which Beethoven was studying with, still had a very, very, very. Haydn was famous for his admiration for variations, and I think that it's also influence of Haydn which inspired Beethoven to compose so many pieces in this style. Yes, Wesley, hello. I see your comment about the microphone, and I will be working on that. I promise. That should get better soon, so that you all can hear me good. I'm working on that. So the 32 variations. Why are they so amazing for me? And yes, I did play them in concert several times, and yes, I will just come to the piano because I would like to show you some details from the variations. So the theme itself is very short. It's just 8 bars. And as we were saying about the harmonic progression, we have so this is what I mean with this Chopin-like form. So the bass line is going down. It's a very short theme. Nothing else. Just this. Yeah, a little bit horrifying chromatic line. The right hand is completely the opposite. It goes up. So we have two movements in different directions. Then the variations basically, you can divide them in groups, in my opinion, because some of them are really developing the same material. Like, for instance, the first 3 variations are based on the same. Then we have same. So you can always have some groups of the variations according to the articulation, to the factor, to the also, of course, dynamics. I personally think, I know that there are quite a few dynamic remarks here. I think it does make sense somehow not to, according to the music, because even we have this bass line which is very often repeats. I still think that it makes musically sense to have some different dynamic solutions for several variations. I think it's, for me, it's always very somehow great to hear this. But the variations were composed in 1806, so it's very close to the 5th symphony. But this motif comes several times during the prelude. Then there is a great section in the middle, which is the major section, Maggiore, which is a really divine place. Fantasy of Beethoven, his imagination, I think, was really, his creative mind was absolutely so, it was so rich, because the ideas how he changes even the small, this short, very compact theme. It is really really amazing. So now we have, in the middle, we have a group of 5 variations which are composed in major. And then we have more it's a very, some variations are very virtuosic, like this one. So with real furious, with real rage, yes, in a way. Some are much more quiet, and some like so they are very indeed somehow also in their musical expression they cover actually also all possible, in my opinion, all possible emotions, and in the end there is a big coda which is somehow this explosion after accumulating of this great energy. We have this it's indeed also these are the smallest notes which we have, as you see. So it's very, it's an extremely dramatic. It's indeed a masterpiece. So I'm very happy to perform it for you now. Beethoven's 32 Variations in C minor. you so much for listening to 32 variations in C minor by Ludwig van Beethoven. Thank you so much. I need to have a sip of my tea. No, this is really, this music is so much power, has so much, gives so much inspiration, I think, and yes, it's yeah, it's great to have this kind of music also in these days which I think it's a light which gives us this power, this, and generally Beethoven is an example, I think, of a person who never compromised, who never gave up, who was fighting for his ideals, for his, yes, for the, also for humanity. I think it's a really very, in my opinion, he's a very human composer who also puts the human being in the center of the creation, and I think this is something really great about his music. By the way, he was also a great admirer of well-tempered clavier, and apparently he was saying that once he got stuck in composing, that he was not somehow, he had a feeling he had no musical ideas what to compose. He opened the score of well-tempered clavier, and his mind was immediately full of wonderful new musical thoughts, and so basically also for him the well-tempered clavier was a kind of inspiration source, and I hope it is, well, for me it is already for sure, and I hope so it is for you. Alex, about the question of my favorite composer, it's difficult because I'm, you know, at the moment when there are so many great pieces of music for piano, but also for chamber music, for orchestra, symphonic works, and once I really start to play a piece, immediately somehow it becomes in a way I feel like a co-creator of the piece. It becomes a little bit kind of also my piece, so that's why it's it's so difficult to say what composer I prefer, and as we see also during these sessions we have also discussed quite many composers already, and every of them has some real special quality, but I'm not talking about quality in sense of quality, but a kind of expression which is very human and very, somehow it gives us power, and I think that's what is really important. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. I am very happy to see you here all next Thursday again. We are going to a very, in my opinion, very special Prelude and Fugue in C minor. It's a giant piece as well in a way. But we will discuss that next week. Thank you so much for joining, and have a good week. Keep well, and see you soon. Bye bye.